SMR Podcast Network. You should be listening.
Available on Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud.com, and Spotify. You are listening to Mo and the Deadman with your hosts Moses Marquez and the Deadman, Paul Morales.
What's going down, everybody? Back for another episode of Mo and the Deadman here, Wednesday Night War edition. Got a little AEW. Holy crap! Almost called it AWA, and we don't want to watch that show.
You're going to call it the AWA.
Yeah, we do not want to make it that show. But anyway, we're talking.
No, we are going to eventually end up doing one because I did find one that you will actually enjoy.
Oh God!
It took me a little while, and I had to kind of thumb through most of the WWE archives to find it. But yes, I did actually find one that you might actually find very, very interesting.
Well, I'm nervous yet excited, so we'll see how that goes. You know, it's been a while since we've done a pay-per-view on the Retro Show, so yeah, who knows?
Look,
maybe...
it's very, very old school. You just like we always do these ones. So eventually, yes, we will end up doing one, and you're gonna see very, very old school.
That's right. If 96 isn't old school enough for you, we'll probably go back to, what is it, like 85, 86?
I believe it was 87. So yes, then we're gonna go back that far.
Still sounds good. Anyway, this is episode 2 of the Wednesday Night War Mo and the Deadman edition. I think last week we called it a tie. Both shows were really good. This week, I don't want to say there was an obvious winner, but it was kind of an obvious winner. And I don't want to waste too much time. So let's get into this. Let's start with the WWE show. And Paul, let's take it away.
Oh man, we're gonna start with look, man. Look.
We got it. We always start with the WWE show.
Notes and look, okay.
Always start with the WWE show.
Okay. Look, I will start this off. Look, okay, so this is NXT for Wednesday night. I guess now we have the Cruiserweight title is exclusive to NXT according to Morrow.
Well, that's been the gimmick since last week. They were calling it the NXT Cruiserweight Championship, and so that's what it looks to be, and its first title offense is happening right here, right now.
Yeah, exactly. And then, of course, we get Lio Rush versus Drew Gulak.
And the Gulak.
Yes, and, of course, Gulak, not your typical, high-flying cruiserweight. He's methodical, kind of detail-oriented.
That's for sure.
I have to say he's more like that British style Matt and strength moves. Don't you think?
No, I could definitely agree with that. He is definitely more of the catch can, which is do anything you have to do to win kind of wrestling. You get out there and you're wrestling for real. That's pretty much what that stands for. And Drew Gulak is a prime example of one of those guys because he's not high-flying by any means. He is very mat-based. I'm not going to say he's the strongest guy in the 205 division, but he's definitely one of the stronger dudes, so he tries to use that to his advantage. But last week we saw the return of Lio Rush.
I'd have to say that the strongest one actually goes to Tony Nese because that dude's ripped and cut.
Well, considering Buddy Murphy's no longer in the 205 Live division, yeah, I'll go with that. My favorite still is Grand Metalik, even though they give him no love. No love to the Luchadors. It's all bad.
Yes, sir.
So anyway, how about you run down this the actual title match for us?
Okay, so we finally get Lio Rush, Okay, yeah, so this match was pretty much exciting beginning to end. I can kind of give you the end part, really. I don't want to go into the whole detail of the match. Gulak at the end hoisted Rush onto the top turnbuckle. Then Rush fought back and kicking Drew Gulak onto the mat. He tried a second attempt at a superplex from the top rope. Rush hit him again, knocked him off. Next thing I know, he hit a splash from the top rope. Morrow said it was a frog splash. I didn't see it.
Didn't look like one.
All of a sudden, he did like this cutter off the or modified stunner off the bottom rope. How the hell he ended up doing that?
That was
Called
awesome.
the come up, and then of course he flew up back up onto the top rope and jumped off. And this time it was the final hour frog splash, and he became the new NXT Cruiserweight Champion. This match was lit, Lit, according to Morrow.
Yeah. He said, "How do
And
you
of course,
spell
Morrow,
Leo?"
of course, with his Meek Mill quote, from the song "Dreams and Nightmares." Leo Rush used to pray for his time like this, to rhyme like this, to grind like this, to shine like this. I actually gave this match a 4.5. I thought it was really, really good. Tell me what you thought, Moses Marquez.
Wow, I didn't know we were going to go down with the rating part, but hey, I'll give it ratings. That's what we do on the Retro Show, and we'll keep it going here. I enjoyed this. Now when I'm saying that, I really enjoyed the fact that Leo Rush is back. He's in NXT. He's in a place where we know he can actually be used properly. And this is prime example. You allowed him and Drew Gulak to have I'm not going to say a PWG match, but they definitely went out there and they gave it a heck of a lot more effort than I would see on 205 Live or even Monday Night Raw for that matter. And it was great. I'm happy to see Leo as the new champ. Hopefully he will put on great matches with more cruiserweights, as time goes on, garnering more attention to the NXT brand.
I honestly gave it a rating because I was just like, I thought it was fire from beginning to end.
If I'm going to give it a rating, I'll give it a 3.5. Like I said, I really enjoyed it.
It was really good.
But I'm not, and I don't mean to compare, but not to sound like a smartass. That's kind of what we're doing on this show. The opener on the other show, kind of blew this one out, and I'm not saying that to be a dick. I'm saying it because it's facts.
Yeah, you are.
So, anyway.
Okay, so we get a backstage shots of Kushida and Walter preparing for their match later on this evening.
You felt like it was a UFC fight.
Event. I know, right? Like you got their back there, and I'm just like,
Kushida's back there striking. And I'm like, oh, okay, he's really out there striking. And then you got big-ass Walter, and he's like, they're shoot wrestling. He's doing, like, the Japanese push-ups or whatever. I'm like, this guy's ready for fucking war, man. He's ready for fucking war. But anyway, then we get a fucking...
Yeah, he looks like he's about ready. Yeah, he looks like he was about ready to jump out there and be like, okay, I'm ready to go.
Yeah, right now. Anyway. Walter. Now, we got one of two fucking vignettes, if you will, for Finn Balor. He's plugging the whole... He was in fucking NXT forever. Like, you may have forgotten that. I mean, I didn't. But this video package definitely tries to, like, reinform you. This guy's been on the main roster for a long fucking time.
No, I knew he was there for a couple of years.
Yeah, but he's been gone even longer. So.
Yeah, but I believe 2015 was when he was down there. So he was down there for a while. Or 2015.
Yeah, NXT was a totally different place back then. It had just started to get better when he showed up, when Kevin Owens was hot, when Samoa Joe showed up, and then, then that's when Nakamura and McIntyre and, the list goes on and on and on. Anyway. Let's get into this freaking kill match. Like, Rhea Ripley killed this poor Aaliyah. It was great.
Oh, my goodness. I couldn't... Yeah, and the crowd was pretty much telling everybody, Rhea's going to kill you, Rhea's going to kill you. They kept emphasizing that, and, of course, that's basically what happened. I'm not even going to go into much detail. Basically, she dominated her. She put Aaliyah in this, like, reverse Texas cloverleaf, which was sick.
And then what did she do? She's just like, well, she's obviously not tapping. Guess what, Broad? Slam me on your face. And she just hoists her up.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, like, she slams her right down in like a rag doll. Didn't you think?
And she was like, ah, boom. I'm like, well, she's dead. She ain't kicking out of
that. She's dead. Yeah, and I can't even. I mean, she killed her, literally killed her.
There's no
She
other way
got the
to
one,
explain
two,
it.
three. She got the 1, 2, 3. That was basically it. Cut a little promo after saying that she wanted Shayna and that she was coming for her.
Yeah, it's great.
I thought it was a perfect squash for her. I thought it was great for her. I I think it was good because she's already that dominant woman. You know, she was in the first NXT UK Women's Champion, and well deserving of it. She went
Absolutely.
out there and showed her shit. She went out there and showed her shit, and you know is telling everybody I know what I'm here for.
What I mean, in all reality, is there anybody else out there that you think should beat Shayna for the women's championship? My answer is no. I think Rhea is the only one that should. But I mean,
I don't know. We have all these other women that are vying for it, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with all the competition that's out there for this. Candice LeRae, Io Shirai, Bianca Belair,
yeah,
Mia Yim,
Mia Yim.
all these women. I mean, are pretty much trying to maneuver themselves into that place, to be like, I'm going to take it off of her. But I mean, the women that I mentioned already had their time at her. Why not Rhea Ripley? Why not Rhea Ripley get her opportunity?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but time will tell. It looks like that's obviously where they're going with it. So we'll see where it goes. Let's get into this next thing, this next tag match. Um, Look, I'm gonna be very blunt. I'm gonna ask you a very simple question. Are Breezango is their gimmick? Is their gimmick that they're strippers? Is that their gimmick? Because they're out here in fucking construction gear. Or are they part of the YMCA? Like, what's going down here? Are they? I'm thinking they're male strippers.
I have no idea what the hell they are, but they come out as new construction workers. They were scheduled to take on Everrise. All of a sudden, Jackson Riker comes out. He's
He's
got two beaten
he's
bodies of
just
the
dragging
two
these dudes
guys.
out.
Yeah, he's dragging one. He's got the other one over his shoulder. Drops them onto the ramp, and it was just like, you know,
Oh yeah,
I
here's your
wouldn't.
victims.
Yeah, exactly. And next thing I know, the Forgotten Sons come out. Steve Cutler, Wesley Blake, they come out. All of a sudden, we got this impromptu match. So before I kind of talk about the match, I have to go to the commentary. Commentary was hilarious, and I wasn't even expecting all this to happen. It was just like you talk about them being construction workers, and all of a sudden, Beth Phoenix, right out of the blue, just started talking about. She goes, "I really love the new look for Brizongo. They have a lot of hidden talents.
Strippers.
I've heard they're really great at hammering things. I also heard they are great plumbers. In fact, they also gave me some advice on how best get my pipes cleaned." And she goes, "They are so talented," and all of a sudden you just hear like everybody are like, "What?" It
She
must have
just
been
like rambled.
Morrow and Nigel were just freaking cracking on her.
Well, yeah, this is not Beth Phoenix we're used to, but that was great. I told you they're male strippers. You see what I mean? Everybody wants them.
Fucking Nigel asked her. She goes, "Have you ever heard of a metaphor?" She's like, "Wait, what?"
Like, sure haven't. Sorry, bub. Uh,
Freaking, she asked her. He asked her if she wanted his square thing from his what the hell is that thing? A square napkin
Handkerchief?
or his pocket square?
Oh,
It's called
pocket
a
square.
pocket square. Take
Yeah.
that back. It's called a pocket square because she was drooling. Morrow said she needed to take a cold shower, and then he said, "Adam on line one, she is on the edge."
Nice. She's on the edge.
Oh man. Okay, so back to the match. Let's go back to the match. We already had some funny for that one. So I have to say, I liked it. I mean, there was a lot of back and forth between them.
It's
I mean, we
about
got a hot
time
tag,
the Forgotten Sons look
dude.
good doing anything.
Huh?
I said it's about time the Forgotten Sons look good doing anything. I'll give them that.
Yeah, and it was and they're well deserving of it, man. They needed something out there. I mean, after so let me get into this. After a hot tag, they went the four men just basically went back and forth, trading shots in and out of the ring. Cutler set up in the corner on the top rope, put his knees up. Blake picked up Tyler Breeze, basically did like a buckle bomb into the knees, then hit the memory remains and picked up the victory. I'm trying to go further into this, but I don't need to. Go watch this match. It was pretty entertaining. Breezango, listen to the announcers. You'll enjoy it.
Oh yeah, it was all right. Like I wasn't in love with the match. I was, like I said, I'm happy that finally, for once, the Forgotten Sons actually look like a cohesive team out there. But if I have to nitpick, and boy, am I gonna fucking nitpick, Jackson Riker, or
You
like
always do.
He's like, this guy looks like the most star ready out of the entire fucking group. And the problem is, he's their fucking manager. Like, what the hell? This guy looks like the powerhouse of the whole group. He's dragging out two geeks right before the match starts. Then he sends the goons in there to do his dirty work. But in all reality, the guy is just he's their manager. And I'm like, when is he going to get some fucking time, dude? Because Jackson Riker is the fucking star of this whole thing, okay? So...
Yeah, he's, if you don't know him, he's the former gunner of Impact Wrestling, former TNA, world champion. The thing is that this guy has always been that guy. He's always been a well-ready guy. He's already seasoned. I don't understand why this guy does not get. I mean, if tell me if there's an injury, tell somebody. If he can't perform in the ring, tell somebody. If this guy is not ready for that ring, for that spotlight, tell somebody. But dude, this guy needs to be out there. He is cut. He is ripped. He is not the manager type. He should be in that ring week after week, if not every couple of weeks, putting on a good show, the same shows that he used to put on in TNA.
Like I said, the guy's got star written all over him. That's just my opinion. We get another one of these.
And that's mine too.
We get another one of these vignettes for Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic. Now, I want to correct a lot of people. I have a lot of people freaking out telling me, like, well, this is match number 4. How is it the rubber match? Their very first match went to a no contest, a double countout. Okay? This is the rubber match. Keith Lee won the one on the debut episode on USA, and the one before that was on NXT, on the WWE Network. Dijakovic won. So, calm your tits. It's all good. They're going to put on another banger. At first, I'm like, dude, really? It's a little early for again. But you know what? It did so well the last time. Maybe they'll actually put it on the main event and they'll do better. That's my goal. They'll actually go out there and kill themselves this time, because last time they both got hurt. So, God only knows what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm hoping that they. Well, I mean, I have no doubt. I have no doubt they're going to be in the main event next week. I have no doubt that they're going to put on a excellent match again, like their first 3. Yeah, I have no doubt. I have no doubt that they're going to put on such an excellent showing, and I hope they don't. I think I already mentioned this last week that they were probably going to put them together, kind of like they did with Cesaro and Sheamus. Am I wrong?
No, I don't think so. I think that's exactly what's going to happen, and I think it's great. I personally think it's a great idea. Like, what a better tag team to have than 2 fucking giant monsters that are out there working like cruiserweights. So,
yeah, and you already mentioned that they were tag team before, right?
Yes, sir. They were formerly the Monstars in PWG.
Exactly. So, we get sort of another squash match, if I'm not mistaken,
Dude,
if you
hold on.
really want to call it that.
Let me get this shit off my chest real quick. You bring in all these dudes for this breakout tournament. Half of them I haven't fucking seen yet since the breakout tournament. Guys like Jonah Rock. You know, where the fuck is Jonah Rock? Jonah Rock's badass. I get Boa in here. I don't even really know who Boa is. I mean, he was in the tournament. Congratulations. He finally gets a shot to be on television. But another, 8-9 second match. I'm going to take this whole match over. Fucking Cameron Grimes is like, hey, look over there. And then, boom, hits the foot stomp. And I'm like, well, you're a fucking geek, bro. You're a geek. Cameron Grimes, hey, I'm all for him. Keep pushing him. Boa, you're a fucking geek. I've said my piece.
Oh, man, fucking Moses. Okay, so I guess Moses pretty much subsequently, pretty much already spoke for what the match was, because there wasn't one. It was basically a distraction by Killian Dane, who came out, stood on top of the ramp. Grimes pointed at him. Boa looked. Next thing you know, he turned around, stomped him in his chest. 1, 2, 3. Killian Dane came out. Grimes walked around on the outside. Dane just stared him down. Then all of a sudden, we got this brutal attack on Boa. Unfortunately, he just happened to be on the other end, and almost got thrown through the announcer's table. I think he was just a tad bit pissed off that he lost that match against Matt Riddle. Just a little.
Just a bit. But that's all right. The Vader bombs look great. I'm happy to see Killian Dane finally, being dealt with, talked about. This I want to get into this whole Damian Priest video. Is Damian Priest trying to be like Jason Momoa or something? He's like the cool guy that all the ladies want.
But he looks like the cool guy that all the ladies want.
Yeah, he's a big old dude. He's a big monster type. He's great. I love him.
You know what I laughed at, and I honestly thought about this. He kind of reminded me, when Baron Corbin actually had long hair.
Oh yeah, a little bit. I kind of thought the same thing, but then I was like, no.
I laughed,
no.
dude. I was so laughing. I was like, I said, okay, let me watch this one more time, and I watched it again, and then I was like, that's almost like Baron Corbin-esque. Now, mind you, Damian Priest, former Punishment Martinez, has hair.
That's true that he does. Like actual hair, not fading out
Baron
hair.
Corbin has a hairline that starts in the middle of the top of his head. So he's bald now.
That is true.
Okay, sorry, continue.
No, you're good. You're all good. No, I mean I've said my piece. I'm happy to see what he's doing. He says that he's gonna make a name at the expense of Pete Dunne's name. So, I mean, he's not the greatest promo dude in there, but I mean he has the look. So sometimes you don't have to be the greatest promo. That's why he's in developmental, or it used to be developmental.
Well, it's not so much developmental anymore. But yes, he will actually probably, but I'm sure he will improve. He didn't get much of that over there at Impact.
Nah.
So.
No, he was Ring of Honor.
Next up.
So
next up we get the NXT champion Roderick Strong in action against Isaiah Swerve Scott.
Now this was great.
The former Shane Strickland.
This was great. If they don't fucking do anything with Swerve Scott, I am just going to be furious. You went out there and you allowed this guy to actually have a match with Roddy. Thank you, by the way. It's about fucking time. And he looked great. The obvious thing was between both of these shows, between this one, NXT, and AEW, there was stars that were made on both shows. Tonight on NXT, Isaiah Swerve Scott was the star made. On the other show, it's Private Party. And when we get to that show, We'll talk about why.
Okay, let me ask you this. Okay, we'll get to that after this one, after this show. Okay, but let me ask you this. Did this loss, there we go. Yeah, did this loss actually hurt him?
No,
Did this loss actually hurt Scott?
he put on a really good match against Strong, rather competitive. Hey, the fact that Undisputed Era was out there to help interfere and become a distraction helped in his benefit. So I wouldn't say it hurt him. A loss is never a good thing for an up and coming star, but you're talking about the North American champion, the top faction in the company. It makes sense. This is one of those things where he doesn't look bad due to the loss, but he doesn't look any better because he lost.
Right. Yeah, and that's kind of my mindset on it, is that, dude, Scott looked awesome in this fucking ring. We already know how he was in the breakout tournament, and if you didn't see him in the breakout tournament, go watch it. Now, with that said, all I'm saying is that if you know Shane Strickland, Isaiah Swerve Scott, whichever name you want to put him under, or you can use the. He is awesome in that ring. He is excellent in that ring.
I want to give Morrow the shout out for using the pun "kill shot." Lucha Underground. That's what Swerve Scott was in Lucha Underground. Kill shot.
Yeah, and exactly. He used the term, and this is what I wrote down, dude. This is quite possibly one of the best showings against a champion that I've seen in a long time.
Agreed.
And the reason why I said that is because you don't get these type of matches when the title isn't on the line. You usually get, it's kind of a lackluster little match and blah blah blah. But dude put on a show. Scott put on a show, and they both came out good on the other end. Even though Scott lost, I give him all the props in the world, for what he did. Yes, he got the Undisputed Era came out, stood on the ramp, of course, did a little bit of, distraction, long enough for Strong to hit a knee strike, then that Masato knee, setting up the end of Heartache, and then turning it into the Stronghold. And I just didn't think it hurt anything for Scott. I just think it just gave him an excellent, showing in this match against a champion.
Agreed. Which is all you can ask for up and coming guys to have a good match against a champion. Now, for me, I think now is the opportunity to utilize Swerve Scott, and there's many ways you could do so. It's kind of obvious now that NXT is the land of 205, and I'm sure that Swerve Scott is not over 205, and I can only imagine him versus Lio Rush. Huh. Now that's a fucking match.
Oh yeah, I can imagine him being around maybe 200. I can see him even cutting the weight if there's any for him to get to 205.
I'm pretty sure he's right there, so I'm not worried.
Yeah, I'm not even worried either. And I thought it was pretty awesome, on my part. And I think that'll be a excellent match going forward, if it happens, if and when it happens.
So we got to talk about Tommaso Ciampa coming home. Or not coming home. I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. Velveteen Dream comes out after the match. Adam Cole cuts this whole promo, and then that's when Velveteen Dream is up on the podium. Go ahead. I want to let you talk about this because I was dying. I was laughing. I was laughing too hard. I didn't write a single thing down.
Yeah, so all of a sudden, I guess apparently there's a balcony inside Full Sail.
Yeah, they showed it off, I think, 2 weeks ago or last week when Undisputed Era showed up with all the gold, and they were like, "Oh yeah, this is our thing now. We stand up here, right above the announcers."
Yeah,
which is kind of weird.
That's dude. Okay, so Velveteen Dream, him and being up there, he starts cutting a promo, and then of course he shows the picture of Roderick Strong on the jumbotron. showing him laying on a couch, and he has the North American title draped across his junk.
I love Roddy's reaction though. He's all rubbing his abs. He's like, "Yeah, yeah, show off my sexy body."
And then all of a sudden, you get the Photoshop removing the title, showing nothing.
A very little, like, do not cross sign or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, I'm laughing because like Roddy's freaking out. He's like, "You're a coward. You hear me? You're a coward." I'm like, he just said he had a little, like, you had a little dick. Like, how does that make him a coward? He's just freaking out though. He's like, "You're a coward."
He said he's got a little dingaling. They called him, and I will go back to them old school freaking techno songs. Don't want to be no short man.
I wonder what Maria would say in the background.
All of a sudden, then you hear Tommaso Ciampa's music.
I can't, but it's just so good.
Dude, that is just so awesome right there. Oh, it's good to hear him back. He walks out with a crutch. He grabs a chair from behind, from in the crowd. He grabs a chair. Undisputed Era vacate the ring as he comes in. He sits down in the middle and he says, "Goldie, Daddy's home."
He's been watching my promos as the Crippler.
I knew it. He must have been. You know what? I think you tagged him in it. You know, he must have been watching you.
He's like, "That's good shit. I'm stealing it, kid." I'm like, "You handle it, boss." So, but anyway, no, glad to see he's back. I loved this whole bit in the back. They go to the back. Angel Garza's back there. He's flirting with Kathy Kelly, and I'm just like, "Oh yeah, you'd sleep with him. You know you would." Look at it, Angel Garza. He's just he's a Mexican sex appeal or whatever the fuck. Anyway, I'm trying to compare him to Sammy here. I couldn't do it. She tries to ignore him.
I hear you trying it.
I'm trying. Ignores him. Ciampa shows up. Garza's like, "Oh, you ignored me for this guy?" And Garza says something in Spanish, and I couldn't translate it, and I'm not going to attempt to translate it. And all of a sudden, bam, Tommaso just beats him up. And Kathy's like, "What did he said?" "I have no idea. I died." So I have no idea.
Oh, man. She asked him, and I was just like, he said, "I don't know."
And just walked away.
He just walked away.
It's great. Tommaso Ciampa's awesome. Anyway, was it another women's match, if I'm not mistaken?
Yeah, we get Dakota Kai against Bianca Belair. I love this match, and I hated this match.
So but this match was all right.
I didn't love to hate it, but I just hated. Yeah,
well, you hated that you loved it.
I hated that. No, I loved it. I loved it because it was showing, the ladies and, but I didn't love the outcome, and I'll tell you why. Bianca got hit the KOD for the win. I mean, I'm not going to go into the detail of the match, but the fact is that here's the thing. They brought back, they had this whole hype thing, Dakota Kai coming back, from her knee injury. Facing, Bianca Belair. She had a good showing in this match. I thought they both, had an excellent match. My only thing is that if you're not going to push this girl, if you're just going to bring her out the week before, put her in a match against Aaliyah, basically beat up Aaliyah, like not as bad as Rhea did, but beat her up anyways, and then come out the following week and put her in a match where she doesn't look as excellent as she did the week before, if that makes sense.
Makes perfect sense. I mean, but here's my gripe with that, and I felt the same way. Bianca Belair is more in the main event title picture than Dakota Kai is, and I don't think Dakota Kai is going to be there anytime soon. So her losing to Bianca shouldn't be like the worst thing ever, but it obviously didn't help her. She is fresh off her return. And then we got to bring up, speaking of people fresh off returns, Tegan Nox on her way back. And I bet you she's going to get more of a main event title push than Dakota Kai will. So But anyway.
Well, yeah, we got Bianca cutting a small promo saying if anybody wants Shayna Baszler, they have to go through her. Which case, I was just like,
Didn't you
you
lose
lost
twice?
to her twice.
Twice?
You lost to her in a fatal 4-way. Oh, 3 times.
Three
She
times.
lost to her 3 times. She lost to her in a triple threat match. And then, of course, she lost to her on one-on-one. So, technically, you lost 3 times, which is exactly 2 more times than Candice LeRae.
Oh, hello.
I just think if you're gonna put a roadblock in front of Rhea Ripley, if it's Bianca Belair, fine, put her in it. I would have liked to have seen maybe Dakota Kai facing Vanessa Bourne.
Yeah, I
beat her up. If
yeah.
Bianca Belair wanted to come out, beat her up, cut a promo, fine, do that.
Yeah, but give her at least 2 weeks of winning.
That would have been but that's what I would have done. I guess creatively, I have no problem with the match. I actually thought it was excellent. I just wish it would have went differently. But anyways, that's my opinion. I am entitled to it. Your turn.
My turn. We get the. Well, let's just go with this. We get this I keep wanting to saying Donovan Dijak. Goddamn, Dominic Dijakovic promo. I didn't really get what he said. It just he's talking about this thing towards Keith Lee. It's more hype towards next week. Hopefully they put on the ultimate banger. Otherwise, all this is for nothing. Another Finn Balor vignette about his his return last week to fucking NXT. Pete Dunne promo about Damian Priest. They're gonna have a match next week on NXT. Then we get I'm saying this because I truly mean this. The match of the night on either show, and that being the NXT UK champion Walter taking on Kushida, my boy Marty McFly, if you will. And what was very interesting, to say the least.
Tell me interesting how.
Okay, well, let me put it to you like this. Everybody loves Kushida, right? It's kind of obvious. He's, like I said, he's Marty McFly, Back to the Future, fucking 121 gigawatts, the whole nine.
Yes, exactly.
He's out there, he's doing his thing, but the fact of the matter is people cannot get past the fact that Walter is a fucking giant. He knows. Everybody knows. Like I said, they love Kushida, but they know Walter is going to kill you. They chanted at times, Walter's going to kill you. They love this gigantic man because he goes out there, and you want to know what he does, Paul, that makes everybody love him? He just wrestles.
What does he do?
He just wrestles, okay? He doesn't do nothing crazy. There's no, nothing special about his offense. He does chops, clubbing blows, suplexes. I don't know what the hell this fucking pump handle German bridging suplex was, but it was awesome, okay? It was awesome. I got to see that move every fucking night now with Walter. That was great. This match was great.
I could tell you the one spot that I actually really, really loved, and I know it's probably really, really weird. It's when they're up in the corner, and Kushida's trying to, grab him, and then, he basically strangleholds him and then turns him over and do almost like a slam, and he tries to do that hoverboard lock that he has.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like you just see the crowd going nuts, literally, they're literally chanting for his name, and it's like these guys and I have to say, Walter is very excellent with smaller guys.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's not like Brock Lesnar, where he's like, okay, I'm gonna dominate these guys, then all of a sudden let him come back. No, he is awesome with smaller men, and I remember him in WCPW. I remember him in Progress. Him and Travis Banks.
Great match.
Him and Pete Dunne, even before they got to
Ospreay.
And I mean, he's had some excellent matches with a lot of the guys over there at in NXT UK before they all got here. Before they
Agreed.
all got to WWE, before they got to NXT, he's had some excellent matches against them. If you have no idea who Walter is, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people do, but a lot of people don't, go check him out. Go Google him. Go Google him. Go look him up on YouTube and find any of his matches. Dude is huge, but man,
If
there are
you
often times where I would love to see him and Keith Lee just go at it.
What I would love to say is if there's an opportunity for you to see Walter in PWG, take that opportunity. That's probably Walter at his absolute best, or him against maybe Will Ospreay, probably one of his better opponents.
And I'm gonna ask you this because okay, this is the first loss for Kushida. Tell me, does this hurt him at all?
This is another one of those examples where you go out there, you put on such a good match where you're not hurt. I actually think this helps Kushida. You know as well as I know, nobody in that building thought Kushida was going to beat Walter. Are you really going to beat Walter? Like, let's think about that for a second. Are you really going to beat, the current WWE UK champion um, on national television while you're trying to get the guy to hang out and be around for more and more tapings? So, I mean, it's a possible broken wrist that I believe he walked away with. So anyway, what do you got for this match?
Yeah, okay. So that was my whole thing though. That was my whole thing though is dude, I thought this match was just beyond excellent. There was nothing about this match that I didn't love. I mean it ended with Walter picking up the victory, and I think we already got past that, but dude, I mean it was just awesome.
Well,
Beginning
I
to
do
end.
want to talk about that. See, the thing that makes Walter even better than the fact is he doesn't have a finisher. Okay, he doesn't have some choke slam or some power bomb or the Walter bomb he doesn't have any of that stuff. Walter just beats you until you cannot compete no more. There was this giant power bomb towards the end. You swear it was over. Everyone in the crowd thought it was over. Kushida kicks out, but he just could not live through this nasty lariat that Walter gave him, and that's what ended it. But it was like I said, it was great. In no way, shape, or form did Kushida look bad.
Yeah, he turned him inside out and literally just beat the hell out of him. But no, he didn't look bad at all. I thought it was really, really good. I thoroughly enjoyed this show. So now I throw it to you. Take us into AEW Dynamite
Live
and
on
go.
TNT. Live on TNT is right. Well, like I said, AEW Dynamite. Let me see here. Episode 2. Like I just said, live on TNT. Apologies, computer's freezing up on me here. Just want to make sure everything's good before we jump into the next bit. Okay, that works fantastic. This works fantastic. Okay, awesome. So we're gonna the whole thing starts out with, and I gotta make a gripe. And I'm really sorry. Like I said, I'm really enjoying watching AEW and everything that they're doing, but when I hear NXT's like theme song, I get amped. I get ready to go. When I hear AEW, I'm just like, okay, AEW is on. I don't get like enthused. I don't get excited. Maybe it's just me. Maybe as time goes on, I will. But something about the stream, I'm sorry, the theme just makes me kind of like meh. Anyway, if it wasn't kind of obvious, this is at the inside of Boston, Massachusetts. This is not the Barclays Center. I forget where this is. Agganis Arena, something like that.
Something like that.
Something like that. We do get told that the Bucks are in action tonight. It's against Private Party in the first of the tag team tournament, excuse me. We get John Moxley's going to be here tonight. There's a women's tag match. Riho, Britt Baker, Emi Sakura, and Bree Priestley. Jericho's going to be here. We got Darby Allin versus Jimmy Havoc. So let's just start off with what blew everybody's mind, immediately made immediate stars, an absolute hell of an opener. The AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament, Private Party taking on the Young Bucks in a match that cannot be talked about, cannot be explained. Just know that the Bucks worked heel. They tried to do everything they possibly could. There was a lot of continuity in this match. You could tell that both Cassidy and Quinn are just a little bit still on the green side, but with time, they will get better. Cassidy doing a great job selling his back after the powerbomb onto the ramp. I loved that. I loved it. His kip up, he grabs his back. Sell it, baby. Continuity. It's fucking fantastic. But we did get there was a double Hurricane Rana spot. Matt comes back with 3 Northern Light suplexes. They go back and forth for a little bit. Private Party hit the gin and juice on Matt. There was a Poison Rana. The 450, which I immediately thought it was over, it was not. The Bucks go for the Meltzer driver. Cassidy pulls Nick off the ropes down to the floor, and Quinn cradles Matt for the upset win. Now, and this has been a few days. You know, if this show's not obvious, this is going out on a Monday. But the thing that I felt about this match immediately after it was over is I was in utter shock. And I'm not saying that because I didn't want Private Party to win. I'm saying that because how are you going to build your tag team division without the Young Bucks? And no disrespect to Private Party, to Luchasaurus, and Jungle Boy, SCU, and Helico, the Dark Order, Jack Evans, any of them. Anyway, no disrespect to the entire AEW tag team division. But without the Young Bucks, there is no tag team division. How are you going to build this division around a tag team champions that probably nobody knows? The only way I could see that this is salvageable is if it goes to Christopher Daniels and Frankie Kazarian and SCU. That's the only way I find this salvageable. If you put these tag belts on Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, it's going to do bad. It's what the people want, but they're not a tag team to build a division around. You put them on the Dark Order, I don't want to. That's a tag team that you can't build around. Nobody likes the Dark Order. I mean, nobody but me. I like the Dark Order, but I got a soft spot for fat guys that can wrestle. So that's just the truth here, folks.
Oh man, you sound like you're really, really trying to drag this out. Here, let me put it to you like this. I'm glad they didn't win. I'm kind of glad in the way that they didn't win, because what they did is they put over another tag team who, like you said, is very green, but has the potential to be up there. Now, I could only compare them to the Street Profits because, well, guess what? They're black. And I'm not trying, and I don't mean that in a racist way, but I kind of see them as like the party guys. And this, again, back to the name. But that's what the Street Profits are. They're basically a party crew.
Party.
Now, okay, so we'll go back to the fact that Matt and Nick, what they did was they put over a tag team the most Young Bucks way that they could.
Oh, yeah, by going out there and killing it.
And by going out there and killing it. And they did. You know, you remember when we know how not great the Hardy Boys were. But yet, for some apparent reason, when they were in ROH, that's what they did. They went out and they had an excellent match with an older, very much older Hardy Boys, you know. And they went out and they killed it. They dropped the titles to them, let them have their day. They dropped it back to them. They went off into the sunset, back to WWE, which is fine. I just think that Matt and Nick Jackson did the most excellent thing by putting these guys over, and they're making a name for themselves in AEW, and that's what the company is there for, to put over talent.
Yeah, I can dig that.
You don't like it? I don't give a shit.
Yeah, what he said. Anyway, So let us get
I was
into.
talking to you.
Oh well, I can agree with you. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just worried. Okay, I'm
All
sorry.
right,
I'm
fine,
just worried
fine.
about the division. Okay, if I mean, I understand like a new team winning the belts that could easily be a here's the thing. It's a great live pop. It's great for the live crowd. This unexpected team winning the world titles. How is it in the long run though? Like it's great for the pop factor. How is it for the long run? Fuck all that. Let's get into what's great for the long run. And what's great for the long run is fucking Chris Jericho. Because line up, boys and girls. It's professional wrestling school with your professor, Chris Jericho. He shows up with his new faction. The men, he calls him the closest confidants that he's ever met. Which I'm kind of thinking that was a bit excessive. But nonetheless, he starts going down the line.
Very excessive.
He goes and gives every single one of these guys their own personality and characteristics, and it's fantastic. He starts off with my man, Sammy Guevara, the leader of the Panda Fam, and calls him a Spanish god. He's a teenage heartthrob. Everybody's already making fun of him for him sticking his tongue out like fucking Miley Cyrus. But hey, whatever. You got some attention, kid.
I thought that's funny.
It is hilarious. Like I said, he's there. Jericho called him the most talented guy at his age that he's seen in a long time. That's high praise considering all the guys that Chris Jericho has seen. He then talks about
I just think he's trying to kiss his ass.
a little bit. But we'll see.
Look, he's hyping him up.
As he
let's
should.
just leave it at that. Continue, Moses.
Gracias. Okay, so he talks about Santana and Ortiz. He says that they're pit bulls amongst pit bulls, which I was like, what the fuck does that mean? Then he says that they're Street Fighter back alley Bruce and they like it, and they made his list. And I'm like, oh great, he's gonna call this group his list. And no, that's not what happened.
You just made the list.
But then, like the thing that it kills me is Ortiz is over there, and he reminds me of the hyena from fucking The Lion King, Ed. He's just all with his tongue out. He's fucking crazy, man. You don't know what he's gonna do. It's great.
Oh shit!
It
right,
was,
and he had his tongue sticking out, and he's over there, he's biting on it, and
Yeah,
I'm just like, all right.
And then, of course, because it was Eddie's birthday, we get a big "Viva la Raza" chant, which Big Eddie afterwards. It was meant to be. You knew Chris Jericho wasn't gonna leave that shit behind. And then we get the legit moment of the night. He goes to talk about Jake Hager. He calls him a giant. Granted, Jake Hager's only 6'5", or 5'6", excuse me, or 6'5". I was right the first time. And immediately, as a professional wrestling crowd would do, and they see this guy anywhere in any promotion, doesn't matter where, they're going to chant, "We the people." Immediately when he does that, Jericho says, okay, hold on, wait a minute. He says, "We the people sucks. It's dead and buried." He's like, "It was a bad idea from Bad and Creative, and it's all gone now." He keeps calling him Jack Hagar.
Ouch, the shot at WWE.
Dude, that was like a shot right at your face, okay? That wasn't like one that you hoped skimped your buddy's toe and you can laugh about it. No, this was a kill shot that grazed the nose to show him I'm not fucking missing again. Like, wow.
Oh, that grazed the nards. What are you talking about? That grazed them in the nuts.
It was bad.
That grazed Vince McMahon in his nuts because, of course, it's Vince McMahon's company, so...
Well, yeah. Well, he continues to go on about Jack Hagar. I don't know if it's supposed to be Hager.
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Is it Van Hagar?
Hold on. Let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask you this. Are we reverting back to WCW? Are we reverting back to the time where you're going to start taking pot shots at WWE? Is that what we're reverting back to?
I think right now that Jericho is going to be the Hulk Hogan in that. He's going to be the one taking shots at, or excuse me, the Eric Bischoff, I should say. We are doing the Retro Rewind, and that is the guy right now making all the taking all the shots at WWF, and that is Eric Bischoff. So yeah, I think he's going to be the guy that's going to take those shots. They don't want to take those shots, but they also gave this guy a live mic.
So here's the thing. Okay, so here's my gripe, and I don't mind Chris Jericho, but here's my gripe. That I understand it's Mike, go with it what you please, nothing scripted, I get it. But for Cody, Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks to just tell him, look, don't shoot at him. I mean, granted, okay, we did the whole throne thing, at Double or Nothing. Or no, which one did we do it at? Double or Nothing, right? Where you did where you struck the throne with the sledgehammer.
I was All Out. Oh no, was it Double or
Okay, All Out. No, it was Double or Nothing.
No, you're right. It was Double or Nothing.
Okay, I get that. That was Cody's way of saying the throne is broken. I'm moving on. Okay, fine. We'll go with that. But you don't need to revert. Didn't anybody learn from this Monday Night War the fact that all this shit just kind of comes back on you?
Yeah, it makes you guys look right.
That's my one gripe. That's my one gripe is like, if you guys say you guys want to move away from everything that with you want to be different, you want to change the world, fine. Move away from fucking trying to take pot shots at at the people who you're going against. That's my only gripe. Okay, continue. Sorry, my bad.
No, you're good. No, I'm glad you got that off your chest. It needed to be said. But I do want to finish up with the Jericho thing. I don't know if it's supposed to be Hagar, like Van Hagar, or if it is supposed to be Jack Hager. We'll see. But Jack Hagar is what he kept calling him. He says that he is a real MMA fighter, 2-0. He's the toughest athlete in all of professional wrestling, and that's a shoot. And I'm just thinking of guys like Kane now and Brock, and then to be for real for a second, guys like Josh Barnett and Filthy Tom Lawler and Simon Gotch and David Starr, like all these dudes that they fight in blood sport on a regular, okay? And blood sport is a fucking shoot.
But Jake Hagar was in Bellator.
Exactly. He fought two dads.
He wasn't in UFC. He wasn't even in UFC. He was in Bellator. And he's got a 6-0 record. Yes, granted. Okay,
2-0.
I'll give you that. But dude, you're not in UFC. And I can understand if you had a UFC record against their top stars. You have fought some older gentlemen who I'm not saying that they're bad. I'm not going to even say that because they probably kick my ass. But yep. I'm saying if you want to be that guy and you want to be tough, go to UFC. If you want to be, it's like they say, if you can do it, if you could beat them here, you could beat them anywhere, right?
That's supposed to be the gimmick.
That was what they always used to say about WWE. If you could beat them here, you could beat them anywhere.
Yeah, well. Not so much anymore.
I'm not saying that. I don't mean that as today terms, but I'm saying in the past, that's the way it's always used to be. If you could beat them here, you can beat them anywhere. You could. I mean, basically, it was like there at the time were the top dogs. So it's like you go there to try and be the best that you could be. But if you can't beat them there, But all I'm saying is that he should try UFC. I mean, granted, he's beating people up in Bellator. He's only had 6 fights there, and granted, he's kicked the shit out of everybody that he's beat. So, okay, rant over.
Anyway, good for the dude. So he buries the whole thing. He calls the guys his inner circle. He says that he hates Cody. He hates his family. He says Dusty was a jerk, which is immediate bad heat, but Jericho is Jericho, so that heat not gonna last long. Says Dustin's a moron, which actually got a pop. He's going to beat the shit out of Cody in Baltimore in November. I've never seen anybody so happy to say the word shit on live television since Chris Jericho. They say they're going to have a little bit of the bubbly, and this is the inner circle. You're welcome. So that goes there, and then we get a good match. Darby Allin, Jimmy Havoc, winner gets a shot at Jericho next week. Seeing this, I really thought that they were going to do some kind of hardcore shit, pull out some crap, and no. They actually had a pretty okay wrestling match, which I've been saying a little bit more and more that Jimmy Havoc is actually a pretty good worker. He's not the best worker ever, but he's a good worker, and Darby Allin's just Darby Allin. He has his own way of wrestling, and it's over. Whether it's hardcore or regular, he has a way of getting positive attention. I will say that there was some beautiful arm drags by Darby. There was a sleeper hold in the corner by Jimmy Havoc. Then there was a sleeper suplex, which looked awesome. Rolled out to the floor. There There's a weak elbow drop, then a DVD. Then there was the Tiger Driver, which looked fantastic. Crucifix for a near fall. Havoc went for a lariat, but Allen bit his hand, hits his flip over stunner, and then the coffin drop for the win. So another good match, good for Darby Allin. He's going to take on Chris Jericho. He later on at the end of the show gets a little bit more attention, building towards that feud with Chris Jericho. But right now, in all reality, I was sitting at home watching this match thinking, what in the fuck did either one of these guys do to deserve a title shot? Like, Jimmy Havoc, have you even won a match, bro? I mean, and I'm saying that as a shoot. I think he's won, one or two since being here.
Since being there?
Has he?
I think he's maybe won 2.
I want to say 2. I know 1 for sure. I remember 1 for sure, but I think it's 2. But what did Darby Allin do?
He won a. What the hell did he win? He had a match against. Didn't he win the one against Joey Janela?
Yeah, he beat Joey Janela. That was their first showing.
Okay, so.
And then I don't think he.
Yeah, that was the only one I remember that he.
I think Hangman was the one that won that triple or the Fatal 4-Way. Or was that Jimmy Havoc too?
No, I think it was him too.
Huh. Okay. Well,
no, it was Hangman, wasn't it? It was the Hangman,
yeah.
The one at Fight
for the Fallen.
Fight for the Fallen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Hangman, wasn't it? I believe
Hangman. Anyway, so we'll get into the next one. Riho and Dr. Britt Baker, the wife of Adam Cole, baby, taking on Brie Priestley and Emi Sakura, and this was rather good. I'm getting used to seeing Riho. It's a little odd for me to see an 80-pound girl out there trying her fucking hardest and taking these bumps, and it hurts. But Brie Priestley's good. Sakura, who apparently is one of the trainers of Riho, is out there, and she did great. And Britt Baker. Let me just talk about this match. When Britt Baker hits the ring, she hits a swinging net breaker, then uses the Ring of Saturns, and then sticks her hand in the mouth of Sakura as a mandible claw, a real mandible claw, as a lot of people have been calling it on the internet, for the submission victory. You know, the dentist using the mandible claw. Got to get my hands in your teeth there, guy. It makes sense. But I feel bad for Sakura. God only knows where Brie Priestley.
That makes more sense than Bray Wyatt using it. But I get it, though.
I mean, yeah. So, anyway, did you get anything out of this match besides Aubrey Edwards is like the greatest ref in professional wrestling right now?
Yeah. Aubrey Edwards, yes, is the greatest thing since Red Shoes.
I can give you that. Yeah, she definitely has some Red Shoes appeal.
Yes. Okay, way. So so the one gripe, I don't want to say I have a gripe. I want to say that I have more some of criticism. Very good. Riho is all but 100 pounds soaking wet.
That's why I said 80.
And she's 80, and she's at 80. 85 pounds already?
I think legit 85.
So add another. So wearing clothes and wearing a trench coat, she's 100 pounds, soaking wet.
Sure.
I have no problem with women being underweight or being very, very skinny, but dude, that girl is just
itty bitty,
like 4 foot, like 5, and
she's obviously shorter than Rey Mysterio. If that's not,
I've seen toddlers who are bigger than her.
I'm pretty sure my 2-year-old might be.
And I'm pretty sure your 2-year-old probably is. I think that's my only gripe, dude. Is she's a very beautiful girl. It's just she just seems so tiny out there, and for being what, 20?
Yeah, she's young.
20, 21?
21, I think.
Dang, man, that girl just.
And then the good thing is, she's like I said, she's a good worker. She's been trained since 9 years old. I don't believe that's the girl that Kenny Omega originally wrestled, the 9-year-old. It may be though, so I can't confirm nor deny. But let's get into
Well, I thought Kenny Omega was training her too.
I believe so, but I mean there was a match that that happened in DDT where Kenny Omega wrestled a 9-year-old girl. The rumor is that said 9-year-old girl. Now I don't again I cannot confirm. Nor
I don't know how long ago that was, but said 9-year-old girl, she's
a few years ago.
Hasn't grown up very much since 9 years old.
You're telling me. Anyway, we'll get into the next one, and this is another match I very much enjoyed. Happy to see Jon Moxley back after the injury. Jon Moxley taking on Shawn Spears with Tully Blanchard by his side. Tully Blanchard still cutting great promos, by the way. Give the guy the mic a little bit more often, in my opinion. The bastard Pac, as is the way his name's supposed to be pronounced, apparently. He comes down. He's down there on commentary. Anyway, so I don't want to get too much into this match because this is one of those matches where it shows off that Shawn Spears is a way better worker than anybody gave him credit for, and me recapping it will do it with no justice, okay? We already know how good Moxley is. Spears looked even better in this one. I'm loving how he was working the single leg Boston Crab. That was awesome. He did hit a suicide dive. Moxley no-sold it. He hits his own suicide dive. There's the Regal knee for a 2 count. They trade chops. There's a pump kick. Moxley puts him down with a lariat. Then there's Yoshigoroshi for a 2 count. They Spears with the fucking perfect 10, which I'm like, dude, please stop doing that. It's really not like cool. Moxley throws Spears into the corner. Then he hits the Death Rider for the victory. When it's all over, Kenny Omega comes out on the ramp with a barbed wire bat and a barbed wire broom because he really is the cleaner. He throws the bat to Moxley because, heaven forbid, it's not a fair fight. And as they look like they're about to throw down, out comes Pac, who attacks Omega from behind with a chair. And it looked brutal, by the way, like the edge of the chair whacked him in the back of the head. I'm pretty sure Pac protected him, hopefully, but it looked fucking nasty. It really, really looked bad. Moxley refused to use the bat as he was down, which, I guess that makes him a face. Right?
I'm going to say yes, it does.
So, whatever. So, we'll get
John. John will do what he needs to do to make himself continue to keep looking like a face, even though he's a jackass.
True that. I can totally agree with that one.
I'm sorry, not a jackass, but an asshole.
There you go, asshole. That's the one we want. He knows he is. We know he is. It's all good. We still love him. Anyway.
And Renee knows he is.
As she does. That she does. She married one, so she gets it.
She married one.
So we'll go to the main now. Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara taking on Hangman Page and Dustin Rhodes. Is it me or did Hangman Page and Dustin Rhodes work really well in this match? Like, they should be a normal tag team. Like, that's how well they worked. At least in my opinion.
They're kind of an odd pairing, but I guess not so much of an odd pairing considering that they're both, kind of country boys, or as you would say.
Yeah, you can go that route with the whole country theme-ish, I guess, old school. Anyway. Page looks great beating up on Guevara. He hits a fall-away slam. Jericho grabbing the ankle as Page is going up up on top, cuts him off. Guevara climbs to the top rope with Page, hits a pop-up TKO, dropping Page across the turnbuckle. We go to break. We come back. Guevara's using a chin lock on Page, tags Jericho in. There's some slaps to Page's face. Jericho misses the lion salt because Page gets the knees up. Page tries to go for a hot tag, but Guevara cuts him off. It turns into a big old giant whatever. Dustin comes in. He's the one that gets the hot tag. Hits a destroyer on Jericho, which looked mighty sloppy if you ask me. Hits a final he sets him up for a final shot. Guevara jumped in, hits a power slam, or gets power slammed, I should say. Guevara took the referee and held him back. That's when Hagar comes in, kills Dustin with a forearm. Jericho uses the distraction, the Judas effect. That's the match. I will say I love that Hager only got interfered when the ref was distracted, the continuity, I fucking love it. If, when it makes sense, it's legitimately 100 times better, okay? And that's a shoot, all right? After the match, everybody comes down, and by everybody, I mean Hager and Paige are fighting. Guevara and Jericho are double teaming Dustin. The lights go off, and I'm thinking, oh shit, somebody new is coming. Who knew is coming? And it's nobody fucking new. It's goddamn Dusty. It's Cody, I mean. And I'm like, why in the fuck are you wasting like the obvious, it's a brand new guy reveal on fucking Cody? Okay, like he can't just run down. You're telling me this guy can't just run down? Was he underneath the ring? Is that why you cut the lights off? Like, what is the legit reason on why it is you couldn't do this normally? Anyway, Cody ends up helping clear house until Santana and Ortiz come down. Jericho is choking Cody with his own tie. MJF runs down with a chair. He teases hitting Cody, but instead uses it on Jericho and the rest of the inner circle. You can tell that MJF is thinking about it. He's thinking about turning on Cody. MJF poses for the camera, gets hit with a code breaker for his troubles. Young Bucks make the save, but then all of a sudden, the inner circle starts to flee. Jericho is going up the ramp. All of a sudden, Darby Allin rides down on his skateboard, all Bart Simpson-like, nailing Jericho with a knee. They fight for a while, and it ends by Jericho's taking the mic saying that he'll see Cody November 9th and that he'll see Darby Allin next week. It'll be your funeral, bitch. I loved it. Jericho should always have a mic in his hand.
I love that you said that it was the Bart Simpson freaking coming in.
It was totally Bart Simpson, bro.
I swear. I was like, dude, he's got his Tony Hawk-esque freaking drop in, I swear.
I called it Bart Simpson. It was great. And I blame it on watching The Simpsons as of late. So, I mean, that's the end of AEW. It ended very well. I thought the main event was good. It was not the main event of NXT, though. But I think this is definitely that week where we can say AEW is the winner. And I will admit that I still think, and this is a shoot because I'm always honest about my opinions because that's what I do. NXT, I feel like, has the better wrestling right now. I feel like if this was compared to the Monday Night Wars, NXT is more WCW-like because we get a lot of good in-ring work. And for AEW, we're getting a lot of good storyline building. Like that whole melee at the end, you built like 7-8 stories right there. And it was great. So, but I mean, I enjoyed AEW to the point where I can safely say that I think that they were the show of the night. So, do you agree with me on that statement?
I can agree that AEW was a really, really good show. I want to say match quality, I would kind of give it to NXT, but I'm saying that both shows actually showed really, really good beginnings. This is going to be blossoming, for a while, obviously. We know AEW is going to be around for a while. This isn't going to be like WCW where it's going to fizzle out after a few years. I just see this, going at a pace that everybody's going to enjoy. And, we're only 2 weeks into this thing. We're only 2 weeks into AEW. We're expecting so much in one time. Let it build. And I hear so much criticism from so many people, that sit there and say, oh, well, AEW sucks. Well, dude, it's only been around 2 weeks.
I don't know anybody that's saying that.
I mean, they only have two shows on two of their weekly shows. They only have it under their belt. Dude, I swear, go on Instagram, go on Twitter. You get so many people who say, well, AEW sucks. AEW sucks.
WWE
and I'm just like,
trolls.
Dude. And I understand, you want to love WWE. I understand that. Believe me, I get that.
Yeah, we understand people.
If you don't criticize Vince McMahon And if he says, "Oh, well, I listen to everybody's, on Twitter, everybody on Instagram, everybody on social media," basically, he says, "Oh, I listen to everybody." Well, if you listen to everybody, then you aren't listening.
Mm-hmm.
You're doing what Vince does. Now, we have an alternative, which is great. It's great that we have AEW as an alternative, but there always has been alternatives.
Yeah,
There have
exactly.
there have always been alternative wrestling organizations out there. If you're not going to watch AEW and you love WWE, fine. Watch WWE. But if you're going to be disappointed and you're going to be bitching and complaining, then don't be mad because these fucking people because Vince McMahon fucks up his shows because he's backstage and he's fucking up these shows creatively. If you want a creative show, go watch AEW. If you like different styles of wrestling, go to New Japan, go to ROH, go to Impact, go to freaking, I don't know, go over to Progress, go over to Chakra, good. And it's find something you like. But wrestling is wrestling, and it's always going to be different no matter what company it is with.
Exactly.
And you're welcome.
And you're welcome. And with that, that's going to be it for us. We're going to end this one on the high note that it is. But before we get into that, just going to let you guys know we are going to be back later on tonight for the retro show. There was just a Nitro, so it's going to be episode, I think, 23 of WCW to Monday Night Nitro. And then, of course, Paul and I, we are, for lack of better words, disappointed on how the draft went on SmackDown this Friday. And, we're going to get a few things off our chest before we go over Nitro. So prepare for that one as well. 2-show Monday for you guys. We know how much you love it. We appreciate it. Paul, go ahead and hit him with some social media before I get into all the plugs.
Okie dokie. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram under the name RWT _ Deadman, DEADMAN. Find me. If you find anything you like, find anything interesting, tag me in it. I will be well and glad to either share it or comment on it.
That's right. Helping out.
There you go.
Right on. So to jump onto my bit, we do have another awesome co-host that works with us on the Retro Rewind, the Miss Moni Lynn. Still currently working on her education. Looking like maybe quite possibly next week she'll be back, but it's not a guarantee. She did want to let us know, everybody know that she does miss doing the show and that she will be back, so do not fret. She will be returning. But in the meantime, you can always check out past episodes at soundcloud.com/smartmarkradio and all the other places you can find your podcasts. We're available on Google Play. We're available on Spotify. We are available on YouTube now. Check the link tree down below for all the links available. And I'm not kidding when I say everything is one click away, because if you click that link tree, everything is legitimately one click away from that. Our Twitters, our Instagrams, our Facebook page, the YouTube page, everywhere to find the podcast, the whole nine. You have any questions you want answered on this show, or if you'd like to be a part of this show, go ahead and shoot us an email, smartmarkradio619@gmail.com. We'll try to get back to you as soon as we can, and we'll go from there. Again, don't hesitate if you want to be a part of the show. Don't hesitate if you have questions, the whole nine. Paul, I appreciate you for doing this. I'll catch you in about let's call it an hour or so, and we'll come back. We'll do the retro show, and we'll give these people SMR Podcast Network. You should be listening.